You've lost your arm in a terrible train accident. So listen, guys, I carry a tourniquet in my pocket all the time. From when my children get run over by the train and they lose an arm, and I need to apply a tourniquet to rapidly stop the excessive blood loss, because the #1 leading cause of preventable death is a massive hemorrhage, uncontrolled bleeding, and I've got to make sure that I can have a way to fix that if possible. So I carry a rat's tourniquet. It's not my preferred tourniquet, but it's something that's comfortable to carry in my pocket all the time, and it works really, really good on little kids. So all I do is keep a little hair tie around here. Also for emergencies, if I've got a hair disaster, I can fix that. But I can apply this tourniquet to my little one. If she should happen to get run over by the train, I can apply this to her really, really quickly. And like I said, it works on scrawny little arms like hers. I'll apply it high and tight, as high as I can get it up in there. I won't actually make it really, really tight on her, but what I want to do is wrap this thing around her, and I want to kind of alternate sides. And I'm putting this thing on really tight. I'm putting some serious stress on here every time I wrap it. I'm going to wrap it around, and I'm kind of crisscrossing it over and over because I want to make this thing a little bit wider. 2 inches is kind of the minimum because there's a cone of force that gets applied, a cone of pressure that gets applied. And if you don't have a wide enough band, if you use something skinny like this, it might not be wide enough. It probably will be on her, but on an adult, this won't be wide enough. So you've got to stagger it and spread that force out over at least 2 inches so we can make sure that we can stop the blood flow. And then I'll just lock it down on this rat tourniquet like that. And I know that I have stopped the bleeding. I can check for, well, if her arm was gone, it'd be hard to check for a pulse. But if her arm is still here, I could see if I've stopped the bleeding by checking her pulse. I have not. I can feel the pulse because I didn't do this tight enough. But this could potentially save my little girl's life if she was to happen to get her arm chopped off by the train. And that's why I always carry a rat tourniquet. Again, it's not my preferred. I like a cat tourniquet better. But I don't like carrying the cat tourniquets in my pocket. They're big and bulky. And it's not comfortable to carry. And if it's not comfortable enough to carry, then I'm just not going to carry it. But the rat tourniquet does get the job done. It's a little bit tricky to do with one arm. Like if you had to do it on yourself, it'd be hard to do this. It wouldn't be easy. And it's also difficult to apply more tension after you set it. After I put it on there, it's difficult to get more tension later on down the road if you feel like you need to get a little bit more on there. A windlass tourniquet's a little bit easier to get one more twist on there after the fact. This one you'd have to undo it and then rewrap it, and that doesn't work very well with these. I also keep a much more extensive first aid kit in my truck here because really, I mean, everybody likes to think of the shootouts, you know, the shootout at the OK Corral. They're going to be plugging holes and wrapping tourniquets around guys because of the gunfight. But I mean, really, the likelihood of that happening at current times is pretty slim where we live. So a motor vehicle accident and having to respond to that type of injury is much, much, much more likely, and that's why I keep this in my truck all the time. This one comes from Refuge Medical. This kit is really all-encompassing here. It's got pretty much everything you need to render first aid to a person after a severe traffic accident. Everything from an emergency blanket, survival blanket to treat shock, compressed gauze, a tourniquet here, a cat tourniquet, which is the one that I prefer, some gloves to keep yourself protected, emergency trauma dressings, a marker to write on the tourniquet what time you applied it, all the things that you've done to the patient. It's got a lot of stuff in here, even NPA, and I have received training on how to use all the things in this kit, so I will potentially be well equipped and prepared for any situation that I might come across, at least to the extent of my abilities. I really, really do appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you're hitting the thumbs up, subscribing if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you on the next one. See ya on the next one.